And now on Who's Views, a Doctor Who fan joins JT for a little chit-chat.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Who's Views. Here we are again with another Chit Chat, one of my favourite shows here on the channel because I get to speak to some of you lot in the chat. And look who's come from the chat today to join me today. It is Samuel, aka Sam, the Ark in Space. Hello.
Hello.
The Ark in Space. You don't look old enough to remember the Ark in Space.
No, I was minus 16.
Oh, that really makes me feel awful. Listen, it's lovely to see you. Thanks for coming onto the channel and coming onto the show. You know, I always start these chit chats, Sam, with my question: how did you find the Doctor?
Well, I found the Doctor before New Who came along. Like my generation who found the Doctor with the new series. So I found him like about a decade before New Who came about.
Wow.
I think it was just about after the TV movie. So around 97. Yeah, I think about 1997. And the first story that I watched was The Ark in Space.
Yay!
That's why I called my...
That's why you call yourself Ark in Space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well, it makes sense.
One of my favorite... Yeah, it's one of my favorite stories.
Oh, that's right. Listen, did you actually see the 1990? How old were you in 96? Did you see the Paul McGann movie?
No, I seen it later on. When I think when it first broadcast on UK Gold.
Oh, a few years later.
Whatever that. Yeah, a few years later.
Yeah.
I think it was a bit after my bedtime. I was only 5 years old when it came out.
Oh right, yeah, because it was on at some like 8 o'clock, I think, back on that Bank Holiday Monday in May that year. Yeah, so it possibly would have been. Yeah. So who was it that introduced you to Doctor Who and the channel, or was it just were you pushing buttons?
I was pushing buttons when I was a kid.
Wow.
I spent my weekends with my grandparents, and my granddad watched Doctor Who, and he remembers the black and white episodes from Hartnell and Troughton and all that.
Yeah.
He remembers he remembered he passed away about 20 years ago.
Right.
He remembers like the Daleks and all that.
Well, yeah, he would do from that generation, because that was just bang, wasn't it? Right, that's what cemented the show's success. Yeah.
Yeah. My mum also remembers Doctor Who. She grew up with the Pertwee and Baker era, so
excellent.
Yeah.
So your mother's around about the age of myself then, so that's brilliant. That
yeah, she was born in 1967.
I don't think you should be saying things like that, really, because she won't forgive you if she sees this.
Yeah, she was.
Well, what when you watched the Ark in Space, what attracted you at your young age there? What sort of captured you?
Well, I was into like dinosaurs and all that, and monsters and all that. So it was all the monsters and the stories and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So as soon as a Wirren comes on, you're just like, wow, is that right?
Yeah. Well, when it jumped out of the that cupboard, it scared me to death. And
That's
also, and also that headless creature in the Brain of Morbius. That terrified me when it came from behind that curtain.
Yeah.
On that bed frame or whatever it was.
Yeah. Have you seen, Tom? That's great that you're saying that, because it shows, doesn't it, the magic of Doctor Who? Because I had the very same experiences and memories when I was 5 and 6 years old in the 70s. It just shows you that it translates, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does translate. Yeah, I think the stuff that they brought out in the 1970s was my favourite stuff. I would go back to when I'm in the mood to just like throw on an episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I do like the other stuff before, but the 70s was my period I've adopted.
Wow, I absolutely love that. But it is magical. You've got good taste.
Thank you.
So, getting involved, did you get to see the stuff that happened after Tom as well?
Yeah, they went on into the Davison era and onwards. Then I think they reverted back to the John Pertwee years. Yeah, so I've seen all of that. So by about 11 years old, I've seen most of the 70s and 80s stuff. Wow. And some stuff from the 1960s they broadcast. Right. I think they had like a Dalek weekend on UK Gold when I was about 13. Then my parents encouraged my fandom and started buying me some of the VHS tapes for Christmas and birthdays and that.
Yeah. I mean, so I take it then, you know, did you start collecting, or was it just the VHSs?
Yeah, I started collecting the VHS tapes and started collecting like figures and that. I loads and loads and loads of Daleks. I did as a kid, and
so these are the character options figures.
I think so.
Around about 2005.
Yeah. And I had some of them Corgi. Is it Corgi?
Yes, the Corgis from the anniversary year. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know which anniversary that was.
40.
Was it the 40th?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had that collection. It was a Dalek, Bessie, and a Tom Baker figure.
Yes. Yes, there were. Interesting figures as well.
Yeah. I actually remember like celebrating the 40th anniversary. Yeah. Because going back to UK Gold again, they had like a whole weekend of Doctor Who stories. It was the Time Meddler, Tomb of the Cybermen, the Demons, Attack of the Cybermen, and what was the last one? Dragonfire.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So no Tom Baker, no Peter Davison. What was going on there?
Oh, Caves of Androzani and Pyramids of Mars.
I was just about to say, there's no way they could have celebrated 40 years without missing two of them.
Yeah, that was just off memory. It was a long time ago.
Well done. Yeah. So that's the weekend that stood out for you then. Do you know that
Yeah.
that might have been the weekend that some of us were at the big 40th anniversary convention in London. Because I don't, I never saw that one. It must have been the same sort of weekend.
Yeah, it was during the 23rd
Yeah,
of
well, it
November.
would have been then. Yeah, yeah. So, have you been? Are you a fan that tends to go to conventions, or have you not bothered?
Pre-pandemic, I went to one pretty much like twice, 3 times a year, but since the pandemic, I've not had
Why?
the
Why has it
I've
got too
just
much for you out there?
I've just not had the chance really.
Right,
I've
right.
been working
Yeah,
um like every Saturday and sometimes Sunday.
yeah,
And that's when the conventions tend to be on.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, yeah.
before that I had an office job, so which I lost during the pandemic.
Oh, yeah, yeah. A lot of life's
Yeah,
changed there. Going back to when
yeah.
you were
So
watching the UK Gold run of Doctor Who, and you're becoming aware of it, and you're getting into it, you're loving it. Then you've started collecting the VHSs and anything else that comes off at the back of it. You're starting to go to the conventions. What? How old were you when it was announced in 2003, the 40th anniversary year, that it was coming back? And what were your initial thoughts of this? About this?
um, I was pretty excited. I thought that would actually give Paul McGann his series, but they didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was disappointed in that. But
Were
then
you?
when it was when it actually aired, I was I grew to like Christopher Eccleston's Doctor,
Hmm.
um, and during the Eccleston and the Tennant run, I watched it on broadcast. After that, I was like, I caught it like on catch up because I was like working like
Yeah, yeah,
um, weekends and that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, what was it like for you after years and years and years of this show not being on? What was it like for you to actually find this again and have it in production at the time?
Um, it was nice to have like my doctor that I could um, adopt as my doctor
Mm.
because I was about when did it? I was about 13, 14 when it came back.
Right.
So I
Okay.
was at that age where I, I would I would say would get into Doctor Who, but I found it like years before
Hmm.
you would have like a
Mm.
memory of Doctor Who. But I have a pretty good memory
Mm.
of it pre New Who.
Mm. It's interesting that you say you think that it's aimed at 13 and 14-year-olds. Of course, in my day, it was aimed at younger. And it tended to be around about the 14, 15, 16 mark that you would actually come out of Doctor Who back in the day, in the original days,
Yeah.
because it was on at such an early time. 5 o'clock in the UK back in my day was always, whether it be weekends or not, usually some sort of family. At the weekends, it was a family drama children's slot. So you would have Doctor
Mm,
Who on a Saturday, and then on the Sunday you'd have some sort of cozy drama, which was basically
mm,
what they used to call the classics. So you get Alice in Wonderland or Narnia or whatever it was going to be. You get those dramas, classical
mm.
dramas. So it's interesting that you think that it would be around about 13 or 14 that people were coming into the Eccleston series.
Yeah, I'd say so. around that age, because some of them episodes were quite scary.
Yeah.
For like pre-teens.
Oh, no. Really, you think so?
A few of them, like
Yeah.
the gas mask ones,
Mhm.
the gas mask zombie ones.
Mm.
Maybe not actually.
Well,
Looking back,
I've always thought, from I mean, you've seen the stuff I grew up with. Now, Ark in Space, I was 5 when I first saw the Ark in Space,
mm,
and that's scary.
yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah, some of the like the body horror, the
Ah,
Noah's face
yeah,
in bubble wrap. Ooh,
yeah, it's
that
brilliant.
terrified me. That did.
Yeah, yeah. And then also in that season, as a 5-year-old, I there was Lynx, the Sontaran. He was a
Yeah.
shock. Whoa. Yeah.
Oh, especially when he like mounts. When he got yeah, you just like mounts, don't they?
Yeah.
That
Mm,
was like
yeah.
a memory I had
Yeah.
as a kid.
Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Mm.
Yeah. So I would say that things in the reboot version, like the gas mask kid and all that sort of stuff, I would say anybody under the age of 13 could watch that, because I think a little bit of scares is essential for young people, for
Oh
children.
yeah. I'm not denying it actually.
Yeah.
Um, I loved being scared as a kid. I even watched a few films that weren't
Oh,
um, that weren't catered to my age group.
you see, that's going too far. Mm. So, what sort of story do you think makes a Doctor Who story work?
Nothing that is broadcast today, really.
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
So the stuff that yeah, going back to like the stuff from the 1970s,
Yeah.
that's what I feel a Doctor Who story should be: beginning, middle, and end, and has some maybe layers of like real world issues, but not like thrown into your face, basically, like the last 7 years has done. Really,
Hmm.
I didn't explain that too well.
Well, I don't know. I think what you're saying is that you don't mind a sort of, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't mind a sort of social commentary in it, as long as it's sort of fantastical. Is that what you're saying, or?
Yeah, like Star Trek, they did that quite well. They it's like they had issues of real life issues, and they melded it into like a science fiction concept.
Right.
Um, uh, yeah, I've,
That's
I don't know where.
yeah.
Sorry.
That's got away with you, that one, hasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that one.
Do you watch Star Trek as well then?
Yeah, I'm a big Star Trek fan as well.
Which version?
Well, my version was the 80s and 90s stuff.
Oh, so
Um,
Next Generation?
Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager,
Oh, I see.
that
Right.
kind of era. I
Hmm.
do like the original series, but they are the ones I go back to. Some of the new stuff I'm not too keen on.
Right.
Um,
Well, not many people are, from what I can hear.
yeah, I do like Strange New Worlds,
Right.
but that's about it, really.
What is it about Strange New Worlds that's caught your attention?
Well, there was a original Star Trek pilot from 1964.
The Cage.
Yeah, The Cage. You're a Star Trek fan as well?
Not as much as a Doctor Who fan, but I do like Star Trek. Well, I like various forms of the Star Treks. I like the original Star Trek with Kirk. I think Captain Kirk is legendary, and so is Mr. Shatner. I can dip in and out of the Next Generation. I think it got better as it got towards the end. Deep Space Nine, I'll watch it if it comes on, but I do enjoy Voyager, again, from around about Series 4 onwards. The new stuff, no. I tried that Discovery thing and thought, no, this isn't for me. The new films, no. The original crew, Star Trek films, love them.
Oh, I love them. They're great.
Yeah.
I go back to them all the time.
Yeah. You can put them on any time, can't you, and watch them and enjoy them so much. They're just so entertaining, aren't they?
Even my partner, who's not a big Star Trek fan, she would watch the one with the whales all the time.
What is it with that film? That is
I don't
so
know.
Popular, isn't it? It's
I
very
actually
popular with
enjoy it
non-science fiction fans. That one. Sorry, we've got a bit of a delay. Sorry, but we've got that one there with non-science fiction fans is very, very popular, and I've never quite understood why. I think it must be because they're in what was then modern day Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. It just resonates with like normies.
The not wees,
really?
I call them.
Yeah, I've heard you.
That's a Kinder reference.
Yeah, I don't know why people like that one so much.
It's amazing. It's really amazing.
But I enjoy it myself. It's one of them Sunday afternoon movies, but for me.
Yeah, it's Film 4 put them on, don't they? Like every Sunday, every now and then, you get a continual line of them. So I know what you mean. You can just sit down if it comes on quite happily and just get into it.
Yeah, it's like the James Bond movies as well. It has that Sunday afternoon feel for me.
Yeah. So you're into Star Trek as well?
Yeah.
Obviously. So what is it about that got you?
Around the same time as Doctor Who, I got into more science fiction. It was an episode of the original series called Arena.
Yeah.
You know which episode that is?
Remind me.
It's the one with the Gorn fighting Captain Kirk.
That's the one I call the Gorn one.
Yeah. Or as I called it as a kid, the one with the green monster.
The green monster. You see, you would have liked that because it was a reptile green monster.
Yeah. Yeah, I was fascinated with dinosaurs as a kid, so that was like a episode I liked as a kid. I always badgered my parents to put that particular episode on because we had a few Star Trek videos as well.
Did you? So your parents were into Star Trek as well then?
Yeah, my dad was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some Star Trek videos, and he was into Space 1999 as well, which
wow, okay,
caught my imagination as well.
That one as well. Okay, so the leading question with Space 1999 is which version, Series 1 or Series 2?
Oh, definitely series 1.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I did like that one. I do like both, but series 1, it was there's an episode that I always go back to. Is well, I haven't seen it recently, but
Mhm.
it's an episode I did go back to as a kid. It's like some kind of like octopus creature on a
Yes.
ship.
Yeah.
I forgot what the episode was called.
Yeah. It's okay.
The chat, the chatter tower. Yeah.
Yes, they'll
The
put it in the
comment
comments. Yeah.
section.
Yeah. And was that because it was an octopus then that it got your interest, or was it something else?
Yeah, I just like I just like monsters and stuff like that. I did like some stories from the second series.
Did you?
Yeah, and I think it was in the 2000s after Doctor Who. There was a series called Blake Seven, which you've done a few reviews
In the
for
2000s? Oh, of
recently.
course you've got the repeats of Blake's. I was going to say that was 1978. What are you talking about? But yeah, you got the repeats then, didn't you?
Mm,
Okay,
yeah,
was that UK Gold again?
yeah, that was UK Gold again.
Goodness
So
me.
I was well versed in all the classics.
And how did you stumble across Blake Seven? For heaven's sake. Amazing.
Um, well, I just left the TV on after Doctor Who, and I
Oh.
stumbled on it.
So they were putting Blake Seven on after Doctor Who?
Yeah, it was in the 2000s at some
Brilliant.
point. They
That is
moved
very clever.
the time slot to a very early time slot. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning.
What, for Doctor Who?
Yeah,
Ugh.
it was during the early 2000s. That's what I remember.
Was it? So you were getting up for 6 o'clock in the morning to watch Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Wow. For goodness me. Well, I suppose you were younger and you weren't going out the night before like some of us were. So that's
No, I wasn't going out,
can't
and
blame you.
I've recorded most of them on tape as well.
Yes, of course you would have done, yeah. So after a little while, Doctor Who was on at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then Blake Seven was coming on at what, 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock or something?
I think it was 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Because
Wow.
some of the stories ran into like the 3 hour mark because of all the adverts and all that.
You're kidding me, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a way to span out a 45-minute episode of something, isn't it? Making it last about 3 hours. Goodness me, you must have got fed
Yeah.
up with all the adverts.
Oh yeah,
Right, so
I used to like stop the videotape and play once the adverts have
of course. Yeah.
stopped.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what you had to do, isn't it? If you were taping something on the commercial channels, you had to wind through them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Okay, so let's talk about Blake Seven then. Okay, so again, what was it about Blake Seven that you were? Oh, hang on. Oh, I like this.
Yeah. It's a I liked like the oh, there's another series I watched as a kid as well. It's back in your time,
Go on.
called Robin of Sherwood,
Oh,
which yeah,
yes,
I watched that during that time as well because my parents had them on VHS for some reason.
because it was brilliant.
Um,
You don't need any more reason than that. It was brilliant. Your parents are my age.
yeah,
We grew up with all this fabulous television. It was fab. But we had all the videos. Yes, it was wonderful. Wonderful.
yeah, that I was just like sat on the shelf. I would pull some of these videotapes out and
Good for
watch
you.
them, and
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, back to Blake 7. Yeah, it was. I liked them. Like it. It was like Robin Hood in space. That's what I liked about it.
Oh yeah.
My favourite character was Avon, because he was always. You couldn't always trust him.
Mm.
That's what I wasn't really into, like your goody characters. I liked those anti-hero characters as a kid. And and Servalan. I had a bit of a crush on her.
It's amazing how many people have said the same thing over the years, because Jackie Pierce was just legendary in that role. She loved it.
And I met her at a convention years later.
Okay. And how did that go?
I was a bit starstruck, to be honest. I was about 14, 15 at the time. I didn't know what to say. I was like a bundle of nerves.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
What did she say to you?
She was just like, so she was just had that gleaming smile she always had, and she was like, "Oh, hello." Yeah, she.
Did you get anything signed by her?
I did, but I lost it a few years ago. I don't know where it went, and because I've moved so many times in my
it might turn up. You never know. It might be in a book or something like that somewhere. I mean, Jackie Pierce, she was a real character. Where did you meet her?
I think it was at a convention in Birmingham.
Birmingham, okay. So was this when Blake 7 was back on UK Gold?
Yeah, it was around that time.
Right. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, she was
I don't know.
She was a wonderful woman. She really, and that laugh she had, that deep
yeah.
laugh.
When I was leaving the convention hall, you just see her out there smoking a million cigarettes.
Yeah. That's what gave her that deep
just
laugh.
Like laughing.
No, she wasn't. Did you manage to see all 4 series of Blake 7 then?
Yeah, they played them in order. When I got to that final episode, you know what? I was like, what? No!
Yeah. So you had the same reaction we all did back in 1981.
Yeah. I actually showed it to my partner as well, who during lockdown, and she loved it. She watched the entire series in lockdown.
All 4?
Yeah.
Wow. What an achievement. Wow.
Because she had nothing to do, so she was like, "Oh, give me some shows to watch." So I was like, "I'll watch Blake 7." You'd like that. It's got like a serialized structure to it.
Yeah. And how long did that take you then to watch all them? How many a day were you watching? Were you watching about 6 a day?
Something like that, yeah.
That's terrible.
We were out of work and we had nothing to do.
So you just watch TV all the day? It's terrible, isn't it? Well, no. So are you collecting the new Blu-ray editions for Blake 7?
Yes, I've got series 1. It's just over there.
Yeah. And how have you found it? Have you enjoyed this?
Yeah. I watched the making of series 1
Yeah.
documentary. Oh,
Yeah.
and I've seen the that vintage documentary about series 1 as well.
Vintage.
Um,
Yeah, go on.
um, yeah, I think it was on the cutting room floor for years, and someone like popped it together and released
Yeah,
it.
it's
I'd
brilliant,
seen
isn't it?
like, yeah, it's a great documentary. I'd
Mm.
seen like clips of it on YouTube, and I was looking for a like full version. I never found it until now.
Yeah, yeah. So that's another range to add to your shelves, because I take it you'll buy them all now.
Yeah, I'm getting season 9
Doctor Who.
tomorrow. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
collecting the standard definitions because I was a bit late to the party on that one.
That's absolutely fine. Lots of us are collecting the standards. I am as well. Yeah, because I didn't like the look of the limited edition ones when I first saw
Yeah,
that
they
pack.
were a bit,
That's too bulky. I
they
don't
were a
like
bit
them.
bulky. No, I
Mm,
didn't like
mm,
them.
yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to give this one a miss. Then they started bringing out the standards. So I was like,
Mm.
oh, I like these box sets. I'll get them.
Yeah, they're just so
I'm,
much easier
I'm,
to store.
yeah, I'm a bit picky these days, to be honest.
That's because you're getting old.
Yeah.
Now, you
Um,
mentioned Sam, and I'm not letting this one go. Robin of Sherwood. Right. So you
Robin of
mentioned it.
Sherwood.
Yes. So you got this in. Who's your favourite Robin of Sherwood? Michael Praed or Jason Connery?
Michael Praed.
Correct answer. Sorry, Jason.
Yeah.
But that's
No,
the
he wasn't. He wasn't Robin of Sherwood.
correct. It's a great series, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's so much to it. I remember when it first came out back in the 80s, there was a bit of pre-publicity for things. We had a magazine in those days called Lookin', which was an ITV magazine. They called it the Junior TV Times, and it was just a gem because it had features about pop stars, ITV shows, the ITV listings, because they were all different in those days depending on what region you were in. It would have competitions every week. This was every week. And then I remember, and I've still got it, when they announced that Robin of Sherwood was starting that Saturday. You know, I was blown away with it, and just got into it. They started a Robin of Sherwood comic strip, which was just brilliant, superb stories and great drawings. I was into it from the pilot episode onwards. I was like, wow, absolutely fantastic. And again, it's so great. That was 1980s. It's so great to hear that you've come along years later and rediscovered it thanks to your parents' video collection.
Yeah. That had a huge collection of old TV shows. It would probably take too long to like list them all.
Oh, probably. Well,
That
listen,
I've
most of
seen.
us watching this will know exactly what you had on the shelves because we're similar ages. Because we all had them. We
Yeah.
were so lucky. We had all these classic television shows where they're now looked at a classic, but to us it was just a TV show that was on at the time that we loved.
Mm.
Mm.
Oh, and I loved all the old sitcoms as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
Steptoe and Son, Only Fools and Horses, Open
Yeah.
All Hours, Porridge. It goes on.
Yeah. And they're all being rerun today, of course, on all the satellite or whatever you call them now, the streaming services, aren't they? It's just wonderful. Robin of Sherwood, have you seen that recently? Because that is still, I saw it before Christmas. I happened to catch it one afternoon because I don't really have the TV on these days. It's just nonsense. But for some reason, I did on this particular episode. There's Robin of Sherwood halfway through an episode, and I just found myself sitting down and watching the rest of the episode. Again, what was it that caught your imagination about Robin of Sherwood?
It wasn't like any other like version of Robin Hood. It had like a fantasy kind of twist to it.
Yeah.
which kind of caught my eye.
Yeah.
And of course, the brilliant stories and the acting. It was
Mm,
just top notch, really.
mm.
Um, I don't think it would get made these days.
It's too
I
expensive.
don't think. Yeah, and it was on like a nice like film stock. It's like
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love the soundtracks as well with
Like
by
Clannad.
that's it.
Yes, kind of. Do you know you can still get it on well you youngsters use downloads, but I always say physical media. You can still get it on album and CD from Clannad.
Can you get it on vinyl?
Yeah.
I, I do have a vinyl collection going on.
Well, there you go. Go and you can after we've done this, you can go and order your Clannad Robin of Sherwood soundtrack because it's a beautiful album.
Yeah, it's it's an album I have listened to on digital download,
Oh, yeah.
but I would love to like listen to it on vinyl.
Oh, you have to because
I
and it's
love
got
that.
a fabulous cover with Michael Prey just looking all mysterious in the dark with a castle
Mm,
behind. Oh, it's stunning. Brilliant, brilliant album. Yeah. And I mean, it's great that you've been saying there that you hadn't seen anything like that as Robin Hood before. Neither had we. And again, I love the way that these things are translating between my generation and yours because you've discovered it like I did. Because I was
mm,
what? Oh gosh, I must have been 14 when Robin of Sherwood started. And I was so excited about this, but I wasn't quite expecting, I don't think any of us were. When you started to watch Robin of Sherwood, we weren't expecting this mystical Herne the Hunter or the witchcrafty thing, the sorcery stuff, the primitive elements of living in a forest, which possibly would have been like that. It
mm,
was just so magical, no pun intended. But that's why it was hugely popular. It went for 3 years and it was massively popular. And there was a fourth series planned, they were looking at doing a fourth
mm.
series, but unfortunately the money escaped them all. It's just such a shame.
Yeah, I wish they have that like that bookend to like
Yeah.
finish it off.
Oh, totally. Because it left us on a cliffhanger with the end of series 3 as well, which was not
Mm.
what we needed at all.
No,
It's such a shame.
I was really upset at that. I couldn't watch the next episode because there wasn't anything left.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite episode of Robin of Sherwood?
Um, the pilot episode. I love
Mm,
the setup of all the characters.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really one of my favorites. I
Good.
haven't seen it for quite a few years.
You have to
Um,
go back and watch it again. How dare you?
but I do have it on DVD. I've just not got back to it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I had it on VHS for years, and then when the DVDs came out, I swapped it for DVDs, and now, of course, the Blu-ray stuff's there as well. And I just I keep meaning to go and get that, but they're always hugely
Mm,
expensive, Robin Show, because it's popular.
yeah.
At some point, I'll have to get my act together though, because I would imagine the quality of that beautiful filming in
Oh,
Blu-ray would be amazing. I'm sure it would.
in 4K.
Oh, I don't go that far. I only go to a
Yeah,
certain limit. But it's
yeah.
it's
Wait.
it's amazing you're saying that the pilot episode, because that's the one that took all our attention as well. Because the way it's filmed is just stunning, isn't it? It's
Mm,
beautiful.
yeah, it's just a beautiful. Uh, did you see it in like two parts?
Do you know? I can't remember. I don't think it was. It's so long ago. I think it probably was. I think it was it an hour the pilot episode. I can't remember. I just remember
Because
being at the very end thinking I'm going to be watching this every Saturday.
the video I had was like a whole like 90 minutes. I think they
Mm,
put two episodes together.
possibly. They might
Um,
have done that, yeah.
I'm not sure about the DVD if they split them up into like 2 parts.
I'm gonna have to go and check. But my memory
Yeah,
doesn't remember that. I just remember sitting down that Saturday night going, and
yeah,
just being
it's
so
just been a long time, but it's actually it's one of them series I need to like go back and watch again.
mm, mm. Something you may not appreciate. I don't know if your parents have told you, but there was this whole thing. I mean, obviously, the Robin of Sherwood fandom is around to this day, and it was
Mm,
obviously at the time it was being created. And when it was announced that Michael Praed was leaving the show, there was a sort of, oh no, you know, it's a sort of breakdown, if you like, of fans going, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then they were very quick to say, but don't worry, the show's going to continue. And I'm glad it did continue, but for me, it wasn't quite the same with
no,
Jason. Again, no offense to Jason, but it was never quite the same. Were you, you know, even though you're, you know, a few decades behind me, were you the same with this, or did you love the third series?
I did like some aspects of the third series, but I didn't have like a particular hold on the first two with Michael Praed.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, I do prefer the first two series.
Oh, we'll have to stay with us here on this channel on Who's Views, because we are going to start reviewing Robin of
Mm,
Sherwood in the future. It's all on the plan, so you have to come and let us know what you think about that in the chat as well, because that's another one that has to be done like Blake 7. It's a continual story, so it has to be done
mm,
series by episode. So you do series 1, episode 1, 2, 3, right up to the end, you know, all the way through, because
mm.
it's a continuous story over several years.
Yeah, it's a series I need to go back to and watch again. I think
Oh yeah,
it's
I'm
been
looking forward to
quite
seeing it.
yeah, it's been quite a few years since I've watched it, so
Yeah, yeah.
I'll keep you posted on that one.
Please do. I just love it that I just love it that people are still discovering it now, because it's on this one of the repeat channels. I think it's fantastic because it's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant series.
Mm.
All three series, but especially those first two.
Is it on like ITV3 or something like
I've
that?
no idea. I don't know. It's on one of those sort of things. Yeah, it's brilliant. But no, you have to go back to your DVDs and have a look at it.
Mm.
Definitely. Yeah. So what else? What other stories? What other things? I mean, when it comes to Doctor Who now, are you still watching?
Um, I'll get round to it eventually.
Right. So it's not
It
appointment
I
viewing
am,
anymore.
yeah, it's just plus I don't have a TV license either, so
Oh, so you have to go elsewhere. Yeah.
yeah. So I wait until I visit my parents
Hmm.
in Warwickshire.
Yeah. Yeah.
To view them episodes if I
Fair enough. Have you
find
seen
the
any of
time.
the have you seen anything of the last few years?
I've seen all the Whittaker era.
Did you? Of
Um, yeah, but not on the original air date. I
course, yeah. Yeah.
bought them all up on Blu-ray, and that's the last of the new Who stuff I bought on Blu-ray.
Hmm. So what happened there then? What made you think I'm not buying this anymore? I'm not investing in this.
Yeah, I just didn't want to invest in them episodes anymore. Really, it's
Okay.
like it's just,
So are you sitting where a lot of us are sitting now by thinking this is rubbish?
yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. You can say it on this channel. It's absolutely fine. Say what you think. Yeah.
um, yeah, then I moved into the Gatwa era. I was like,
Oh, you've seen that.
yeah, I only seen it like 2 months ago or something like that.
Oh well, never mind.
Yeah, I didn't see it when it originally aired.
Right. And will you be coming back for his second series?
Maybe
Yeah.
eventually. I'll give it a shot. If it's rubbish, it's rubbish.
I have no doubt it's going to be rubbish, to be quite honest. Having seen the last set last year. You'll have to stay with us on our review shows, because if you're not seeing it as it's broadcast, you can have a look at our review and then you can decide whether or not you want to go and see it. We will help you to make your mind up.
Yeah. I think Space Babies was probably the worst episode ever.
To date. There's possibly more
to date. I decide, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
On Legend of the Sea Devils.
I see. I never saw that, of course.
Yeah, it's a few others that I decide. Though I do have to watch one because I'm reviewing it on my podcast in a couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing when you do all this sort of stuff, you have to just have a look at certain things, don't you? But it's hard work sometimes. So are you still? We mentioned that you're looking at you're buying the Blake 7 seasons. You've got season 9 arriving because it's just about to be released as we are recording this. So you're obviously collecting the standard editions of the Doctor Who seasons. Is there anything else that you're invested in now, or is that even tailed off?
Yeah, I'm just collecting the Doctor Who Blu-rays and
of original Doctor Who, proper Doctor Who.
Yeah, of the original Doctor Who, and some of the animations. I didn't bother getting the Toy Maker one.
That'll come down in price. You'll be able to get it for cheap soon, honestly.
Yeah, so the animation was a bit
experimental is the word I kindly use for that. Yeah. You know me. I don't like any of them. I think it's all amateurish nonsense, and Doctor Who deserves so much better.
I like a few of them, like most of the early ones, like the Invasion.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
The Moon Base.
Yeah.
I liked that one.
And then they went weird.
Yeah. Then it was a bit inconsistent after that.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on the Web of Fear episode 3.
Yeah. And there's and I think they're going to be producing more as well, aren't they? Would you buy them if they came out, if new ones come out, or would you buy them instantly, or would you wait for them to come down a little bit?
The Savages I might, because I do actually like that story.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I do actually like that story.
Well, what is it about the Savages then that gets you? What am I missing? Because I can leave the Savages quite happily, possibly because we haven't got the episode. I don't know.
Well, I don't remember much of it. It was a long time ago, but what I do remember, I liked it.
Okay.
At the time.
Well, when you buy it and you watch it, you'll have to tell me if that's still the case.
Yeah. There's a few classic Who stories I do need to go back to, which I was like on the fence about.
Okay,
like Frontier in Space, I didn't really gel with that. It was a bit the Doctor and Joe getting locked up every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all I remember from that story. It's not a story I go back to that often, but
right,
I will do at one point.
Yeah, you must see if it's what you think it is. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I watched that. Probably since the UK Gold times.
Oh wow.
When it was last broadcast on UK Gold, about probably like 15 years ago.
And what are some of the others you've got to go and revisit?
Colony in Space.
Oh yes,
another
okay.
Story.
Yeah,
that's a bit. I remember that story being a bit dull.
Yeah, I can understand why. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will get back to them eventually.
Yeah. It's always worth
Yeah,
revisiting them, Sam.
yeah. There's a few like Sylvester McCoy stories I've recently watched that I
Okay.
didn't like back in the day, but now I like them.
Like?
Paradise Tower.
Yeah.
I dig that one now.
Yeah.
Ghostlight. I was
Yes,
like,
good. Yes.
I was a bit on the fence with that, but now I enjoy it just for its atmosphere.
It's brilliant. I'll defend Ghost Life anytime because I love it, because I understand it.
Yeah, it's about evolution and all that. At the time, I was like, "What is this?"
It's
I was like,
basically the way I explain it to people and have done since broadcast. It's very simple to understand. It's about, if you think of it about a cataloger in a library trying to keep his catalog in order. And yet the whole thing about evolution is that it keeps changing and moving. So the cataloger goes insane saying, hang on a minute, no, you're messing up my catalog. And then tries to kill everything around him. So it doesn't evolve and it doesn't change. So his catalog is nice and tidy through his cards and things like this. His database is tidy. That's all it's about. I think it's quite funny. Yeah. Light is brilliant. I love that.
I do remember them husks scaring me.
Oh really?
Yeah, I didn't like them.
Oh, do you know they were a late addition on the insistence of John Nathan Turner, who said there's no monsters in this. I want monsters in this. So they came up with those things very, very quickly and threw them in. Yeah, the husks. So at least it did the trick. It scared the little ones.
What other ones? The Happiness Patrol. I didn't like that one back then, but now I like it.
There you go. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how as you get older you appreciate things a little bit differently, because of course you're seeing different things in it now as well, aren't you?
Yeah. It's the lightness with dark undertones, which I like about the McCoy era.
Yeah. Undercurrents, as they say in the Curse of Fenric. It's all about that throughout the whole series when you look at it. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Well, listen, Sam, we're coming to the end of our time. Believe it or not, that's gone very quickly, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's gone very quickly.
I want to say a huge thank you for emailing in and saying you'd like to come on to Chit Chat. I'm delighted. So thank you so much for coming on. And it's lovely to talk to you and chat about it, and to find that you are a Doctor Who, a Blake 7, a Space 1999, and a Robin of Sherwood person as well. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I'd love to come back on.
We shall have to look at that. Well, let's see what it's all about and see what we can do. But again, thank you so much. It's been great to chat to you. Yeah, round of applause, please, for Sam WhosViewers. If you'd like to come on and have a chit chat with myself about anything you want to talk about, you can. All you have to do is email that. It's whosviews1@gmail.com. That's what he did, and said, I'd like to do one, please. So if you're interested, come and join me. Come and say hello. Why not? Again, Sam, great to see you. Thank you so much, and thank you for supporting the channel, and thank you for being in our chats and giving us your opinions and what have you. Until I see you again, thank you. Until we see you again, WhosViewers, don't forget to subscribe. If you've already subscribed, please check to make sure that you are still subscribed, and give us a thumbs up, because that always helps the channel as well. Until we see you again on WhosViews, take care of yourselves. See you soon. Bye, everybody. Say bye, Sam.
Bye.